guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, it's Friday, July 12th, and it's 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time. And what we're going to be doing right now is going over the Q post from today, July 12th. And I do have to apologize to you because the video that I just uploaded, well, it would appear that I screwed up. Nothing unusual about that. But I said that there were only 2 posts from yesterday, July 11th, and I was not correct. There are more. So if you want me to pick up and do the posts that we missed from yesterday, I can do that. Let me know in the comments below. And the reason why I'm asking you is because I know several of you look at a lot of Q decoders. And I would encourage that actually, because nobody has the whole picture. And, you know, listening to 2 or 3 can give you a better picture than just listening to 1. However, so if you have already heard and you don't need me to go over them, just let me know. But if you do, then I will do so just for you guys. All right, so let's get started with today's posts. And I will alert you that you may see a tail in front of you because Sammy is, well, right now he's quietly resting on the table that I have my computer on, but he doesn't stay quiet very long. And I may be adopting a new kitten as well. It was found in a parking lot wandering around, very, very young, shouldn't even have been away from its mother. And so I may adopt a playmate for Sammy so that it will keep him more occupied. I think he's just bored silly. All right, okay, let's get into this now. This is the first one from July 12th today. And Q is referring to an earlier post he did from February 22nd, 2019. And it says, how do you fill your admin if majority of those in politics are corrupt? Draining the swamp. Q. Then he has a link to a Fox News article. I'm sure you guys have heard this news already because it's all over the place, but let's go out to it and see. Labor Secretary Acosta announces he will step down amid criticism over Epstein plea deal. Now, it's interesting because that was fast. And Trump said that he didn't ask him to step down, but I don't know. We'll see. Now, it says Alex Acosta set to step down as Secretary of Labor. Labor Secretary Alexander Acosta said Friday he will be stepping down over his past involvement in a highly controversial plea deal for financier Jeffrey Epstein, who is now facing sex trafficking charges. Acosta and President Trump revealed the secretary's decision Friday morning during remarks to reporters outside the White House. Acosta said he submitted his resignation to the president that morning and would resign from his post next week. Over the last week, I've seen a lot of coverage about the Department of Labor, Acosta said, noting the reports have been related to the Epstein controversy and not success at the agency. I do not think it is right and fair for this administration's Labor Department to have Epstein as the focus rather than the incredible economy we have today. I called the president today. I submitted my resignation, Acosta said. It would be selfish for me to stay in this position and continue talking about a case that is 12 years old rather than the incredible economy we have today. Acosta came under heavy fire this week for his role as U.S. Attorney for Florida in securing a plea deal for Epstein that resulted in an 18-month sentence. He served just 13 months. The deal was criticized as lenient because Epstein could have faced a life sentence. Acosta negotiated a deal that resulted in 2 state solicitation charges, but no federal charges. Epstein was charged this week with sex trafficking and conspiracy during the early 2000s Yeah, that's right. Based on the new evidence, Epstein pleaded not guilty on Monday in a New York City federal court. The president, though, underscored that it was Acosta's decision to resign from his post and touted his work in the administration. Alexander is a great labor secretary, not a good labor secretary, he said. There is no need at all, as far as I'm concerned, that this is a person that I've gotten to know. There hasn't been an ounce of controversy at the Department of Labor. Trump added, he's doing this not for himself, he's doing this for the administration. I said, you don't have to do this. He doesn't have to do this. Trump announced that Deputy Secretary of Labor, Pat Pizzella, I think that's the correct spelling or the correct pronunciation, I'm not sure, will take over the agency as acting secretary. Trump, who was said to have been friends with Epstein, added that he was not a fan of him and had not spoken to him in 15 years. I wasn't a big fan of Epstein, that I can tell you, he said. I will say this and say it again. I say it loud and clear. Alex Acosta was a great Secretary of Labor. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had called Monday for Acosta to step down over what she called an unconscionable agreement with Epstein, and was soon joined by a chorus of other top-ranking congressional Democrats. Meanwhile, Democrats of the House Oversight Committee wrote to Acosta on Wednesday, inviting him to testify at a July 23rd hearing that will examine his actions related to Epstein. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand was the first 2020 Democrat to react to Acosta's resignation, tweeting, "Good riddance." Yeah, like she has anything to, claim the moral high ground on. She's got strong ties to NXIVM. But that's what guilty people do. They blame other people for just about everything. Acosta defended himself Wednesday at a press conference in which he said that his office fought for a tougher punishment after state prosecutors were ready to let him walk free. Simply put, the Palm Beach State Attorney's Office was ready to let Epstein walk free, no jail time. He said, prosecutors in my former office found this to be completely unacceptable. Acosta argued that it was his office that secured jail time, restitution, and for Epstein to register as a sex offender. We believe that we proceeded appropriately. That's based on evidence, not just my opinion. There was value to getting a guilty plea and having him register, he said. Barry Krishner, the Palm Beach County State Attorney at the time, responded later Wednesday, I can emphatically state that Mr. Acosta's recollection of this matter is completely wrong. No, it's not. And you know why it's not? I have gone back through all the newspapers, the Miami Herald of that time. I spent a great deal of time doing so, and I've got a lot of information to bring to you guys at a later date. I have been really looking into this deeply and getting the original newspaper articles from that period of time so that I can compare to what's being said now. And it's Krishner, I think, or he's not telling the truth here. He confirmed if Mr. Acosta was truly concerned with the state's case and felt he had to rescue the matter, he would have moved forward with the 53-page indictment that his own office drafted. Still, Acosta said the accusations against Epstein were despicable and his alleged crimes absolutely deserve a stiffer sentence. So that is interesting. Now, I'm not sure if there was wrongdoing as far as Acosta goes or not. I'm still looking through all those, oh my gosh, I probably have 40 or 50 of them to go through. That's why I'm saying that, and some of them are long. So that's why I'm saying I'm gonna have to take my time and go through this. And but I am finding some really fascinating stuff, like fascinating connections and so forth. So anyway, sorry, I have cat hair. All right, so let's go on here. Sammy, you're being so cute and so good. You just continue to rest and don't be looking at the cords in a lovingly way. Yes, he is an avid chewer. Okay. Now, let's go up here. The next thing that Q dropped today is this, and he put it in kill brackets and he bolded it. He said, New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Now, this is an organization, a society, a nonprofit that has been around since 1875 and was really the first of its kind in the country that looked at preventing cruelty to children. But whether they're still experiencing, if they're still concerned with safety and cruelty to children, I don't know. But I did do a little bit of preliminary digging on this. I couldn't find too much, except one thing that kind of piqued my interest. Now, I'm going to be doing some further looking into this, but I'll tell you, it's hard because Q is dropping things, and when he drops things, it's a bombshell because and it's a huge rabbit hole, because you start looking into it and then you go, oh my gosh, this is not some little thing to look into. This is huge. So just like the Epstein stuff, when he dropped that, and whoever knew that the rabbit hole went that deep and all the connections. But it's the same thing with this probably, and I'm going to be looking into it further as time permits. But I did do a little preliminary looking. I couldn't find anything too gobsmacking, but I did find this. This is their website. I wanted to know who their board of directors were. Now, this name stood out to me because of the last name Hermes. And I know there is a lot of controversy surrounding that whole family. And so, just for curiosity's sake, I did a little search to see if this person, Valeska Gerard Hermes, I think that's how you pronounce the last name there. And of course, they have a huge fashion empire and so forth. But interestingly enough, I cross-referenced this with Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book, and she's in there. Now, I cross-referenced many of the other names, and they were not. So I am thinking that this is possibly the connection there, or one of the connections. I started to look into each one of these people, and I figured that, okay, I'm never going to bring you any videos if I start, if I take that long to just research one post. So that's something I will have to come back to as time permits. But this is something to look further into right here, this name right here, because it's in Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book. Now, I haven't had a chance to cross-reference that with the flight log yet, but I'm going to. So, and I'm going to do that with all of these names. I'm going to cross-reference them with his Little Black Book and the flight log. Now, probably about half of these names I've already searched, and they're not in his Little Black Book, but they could be on the flight log, and so I'm going to look into that further, and I will let you know what I find. So, I think that there's going to be upcoming information about this and how it ties into possibly other things, including Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know. It certainly didn't, jump right out and bite me. But sometimes just a little bit of prying, just a tiny bit of prying, and a door opens, and that door leads to other things. So that's what I'm hoping happens when I get into looking into this. All right. So let's get out of there and go back to Q. And now, as I stated in the last video, Wheels Up is bolded and in kill brackets. Now, Wheels Up happens to be a company. It's a company that services a private jets that service the elite or the very wealthy. And it says Wheels Up flight logs classified 1 to 99 in kill brackets under investigation by the FBI / DOJ. Now, he asks it as a question, but that is just how Q does business. He asks questions, but they're not questions, they're facts. So yeah, I don't know if that is even available, the Wheels Up flight logs, I'm not sure. But again, I would assume not, because it's under investigation by the FBI DOJ. So I would assume that that is not made public yet. I didn't look, because actually it occurred to me quite late that, gee, this is a company. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it is a company, or it's something. It's an organization, or it's something. And so when I looked it up, it was a company. Wheels Up is a company. So that has to be further investigated too. And I would ask that if any of you guys have information on this, that we all have different information. We all have different things that we're good at. There's some people that are good at finding information about planes and flights and this and that. There's other people, you know, we all have different skills, and we all hear different things. So if you have information that I haven't covered, it could be that I know it but have forgotten to bring it, or it could be that I don't know it at all, because quite often I'll be scrolling through the comments and see something and I'll go, oh, wait a minute, that's good information, I didn't know that. And I look it up, and sure enough, it's usually right. So you guys, you know, we are the news, and we really are. And I'm not a person that is so conceited that I think, oh, I'm doing this and I know. And no, of course not. It takes all of us, and we are a community here. And if you doubt that, just look through the comments. It is a community. It blows me away how kind everyone is to one another, even when they disagree with something. So yeah, put it in the comments. And if I don't respond to it or bring it up or whatever, comment on it again, because I don't always see all the comments, because when they get into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, you know, it's hard to keep up. I usually, you know, when I upload it, I usually go through those comments, because those are generally the people that are out there looking for my stuff, and when it uploads, they're watching it. But others of you could be at work or whatever and not comment until a day later, and I sometimes miss those. So there you go. All right. Now, so this is the Wheels Up, something else that needs to be investigated. And again, I welcome comments. Now, here is the next one. Mueller, and Mueller is in kill brackets, hearing delayed. What are the odds of that? Q. Now, I'm not sure what is behind Mueller's hearing being delayed, and let me just, for curiosity's sake, Mueller's hearing delayed. I had heard something about that, and now I can't remember. It'll be delayed 1 week. Why the Mueller hearing could be delayed?
Reports from Politico that the...
let me go down here and see. Well, that really doesn't say why he could be delayed, and I'm not going to listen to all of this, but, well, let's...
Mueller testimony is going to be postponed by a week. We're now looking at July 24th. Sahil, any particular reason why this might be?
Well, the discussions for the delay seem to be around the idea of creating more time for questioning. There's a lot to get to. The Mueller report was a very, very long document, and there are many things that Democrats in particular want to explore there. They view this as an opportunity to get this information out to a wider audience. The fact that, you know, Mueller's one press conference, the one public statement he gave about this got so much attention and had such an impact in the way the public viewed this is an indication to Democrats that they want him on camera explaining the findings of his report. So it seems like the discussion of delaying that testimony are about creating more time for the members of Congress to question the special counsel about what he found in this Russia investigation.
Okay, well that makes sense, because now that I remember seeing, you know, Republicans complaining and saying, wait a minute, you don't have time for our questions, and why am I not allowed to ask questions? So this apparently will give him more time to answer, whatever. It's just going to give more chance to answer questions and so forth. So, and it gives them more time to search through and, you know, think about what they want to ask and so forth. So I think it's good. I really do think that it's a good thing. So let me see here. Let's go back. So the Mueller hearing is delayed. Lots of stuff happening. Lots. And let's listen to this. This is Donald Trump. And here, Q says, find out the people that went to that island. POTUS. Anons know. Q. And Anons do know. We may not know every person. And that's another thing that I would like to get to. I would like to search for every single name in that flight log and see who was underage at that time. And that's what I'd like to do. But again, it's very, very time consuming. And that is why I appreciate it. Those of you guys that buy me coffee or are Patreon supporters, and I know not everybody can, and I am not, you know, suggesting you do. If you don't have enough for your own needs and your family, then certainly that is not what I want you to be doing. But for those of you that can, I appreciate it, because what it does is allows me to dedicate more time to this and do the research that otherwise I would have to be doing. I'm a graphic artist and a writer, and I would have to be picking up other freelance opportunities. So yeah, it gives me more time. It literally buys me more time to be able to really look into this stuff. So I do appreciate it. And I am so far behind right now in getting thank yous and everything out, but please, please know I do appreciate it very, very much. And I wish I was better at keeping up with everything, but it's a little overwhelming, all the emails and just everything. It gets overwhelming. But anyway, let's look at what President Trump had to say.
I was not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein, and you watched people yesterday saying that I threw him out of a club. I didn't want anything to do with him. That was many, many years ago. It shows you one thing, that I have good taste, okay? Now, other people, they went all over with him. They went to his island. They went all over the place. He was very well known in Palm Beach. His island, whatever his island was, wherever it is, I was never there. Find out the people that went to the island. But Jeffrey Epstein was not somebody that I respected. I threw him out. In fact, I think the great James Patterson, who's a member of Mar-a-Lago, made a statement yesterday that many years ago I threw him out. I'm not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, so there you have it from the horse's mouth. Not that I'm calling President Trump a horse. I happen to respect him a great deal. He's done exactly what he said he was going to do, and he continues to do exactly what he said he was going to do. I don't know of any politician that can compare to that. I've never known a politician to make all these promises, these pie in the sky promises, and then actually get elected and do it. Have you? I mean, maybe there are some somewhere, but I don't know who they are, because I am continually disappointed, and I just don't even listen to campaign promises anymore, because I think, oh yeah, these people will say anything to get elected, and most of them will. But Trump, not Trump, no, he actually delivered and is delivering and continues to deliver. So yeah, let's go on. And this is interesting. Yesterday, what was it, yesterday? I think it was yesterday. It was all over Twitter about this, I can't remember even what magazine it was. But anyway, they were saying, I guess maybe it's Political Wire. I'm not sure. But anyway, they were saying that QAnon is bad for relationships. It causes relationship breakup, and it makes people miserable. QAnon, following the QAnon conspiracy, it'll ruin your relationship and make you miserable. That's what they were saying, basically. Now, Q is alluding to that tweet and saying, try harder. Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. Q. And you know that's really pathetic when they've run out of ammunition. They just don't have any ammunition. They can't say, oh, nothing Q has said has come to pass, because everything that Q has said has come to pass. I mean, there's still things to come to pass in the future, like Hillary. But, you know, a lot of what he said, we wouldn't even know a quarter, an eighth of what we know now, if not for Q, because of the way he went about doing business with us. And that's precisely what he was doing. He was getting the message out, and he needed to convince us who were keeping track of it and looking at it. And so, I mean, he's more than convinced me. Now, yes, I was getting a little bit, discouraged, disheartened, because it seemed like nothing was happening, but there was lots happening behind the scenes, and I have to believe that there still are things happening behind the scene. But they went from attacking Q and saying, oh, it's not true, nothing they said was going to happen, and all this, and now they've got nothing left except, oh, don't listen to Q, it'll wreck your relationship and make you miserable. You gotta wonder at these people, seriously. I mean, if I was on the side of the enemy, I could make up better stuff than that. Really, I could. I'm not even, bragging or saying, I just could. I'm just very creatively minded. And, I don't know. They need to hire smarter people, more creative people, because that's ridiculous. It's so transparent. And when I saw it on Twitter, I thought, they have to be kidding. Come on, really? And I did click on it, and yeah, it really was an article about how Q makes people miserable. All right, these people were probably miserable long before Q, but who am I to say? Now, that is it for the post from today, but my suspicion is that there will be more posts later on, and if there are, I will bring those to you. And stick around, because I'm doing the Q-related news next, and that will be the next video. Then, if you guys comment and let me know that you want me to go back to the videos from the 11th, I will try to get that in tonight as well. But there's no promises on that, but I will try my very best to get it in tonight. So there you go. I thank you guys for listening, and I thank you for all your comments, your encouragement, your prayers, and just being who you are, because you know what? We've got a group of top shelf people here. We really, really do. And it's very rare. I mean, once in a while I'll get a shill, but you can tell who the shills are right away, because I see the same names in the comments over and over and over again, and I get to know your personalities and your little quirks and so forth, and I love that. So thank you guys. Stay safe, stay well, and stay informed. Keep seeking truth. Deception bites. Come on back, y'all. I'll be here.